Do you know what's required to solve most cases? The community member witness to come forward. And in Birmingham, Alabama, community members have gotten too comfortable with this whole notion of not snitching, no snitching. They've gotten too comfortable with having valid, credible information to make an arrest and don't tell us who did the shooting, who did the killing. Citizens in our community give safe harbor to shooters and killers. BPD officers were not on the scene when that crime happened. We go and investigate. They go and investigate. They knock on doors. They talk to people. People have information and are unwilling to come forward, intentionally withhold it. How can people expect for BPD to be able to give information to a district attorney and have enough probable cause to make an arrest if they won't cooperate?
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now, and it is time to talk about crime in Birmingham yet again. Now, we've discussed Montgomery, we've discussed Birmingham before, but the mayor went on a podcast and he said something I thought was pretty interesting. Not good, interesting. There was a discussion about the murder rate going up in the city of Birmingham, and it's up about 15%. Now, this is a real problem. Now, they'll say crime is down otherwise, and they'll tout that as good, and I think that that's obviously true. But the murder rate is up. People are dying, and it is a problem. One of the problems the mayor has with this, and he blames the community for this, where he's actually right there, by the way. Blaming the community for this is totally fair. There are people who know who did these shootings and are not turning themselves in. But there is another line here that bothered me. Randall Woodfin said the following.
The easiest way to decrease crime in Birmingham, Alabama is to actually arrest the people committing the crime. But in order to make the arrest, especially when the police officer didn't witness it, a community member who did witness it and or who has credible information has to share that information with us. And something has happened in America, not just Birmingham, but everyday community members who have the information are not coming forward. Right now, I've created a fund that has over $80,000 in it for anybody that has credible information to come forward, for anybody that's shot and or killed a child. Now, we're talking about children. Nobody should give safe harbor to men or women who shoot guns and hurt or kill children. But far too often in this community, I shouldn't have to dangle money in front of you to come forward with credible information to take a shooter off the street because they hurt a child. Where's the rule? Where's the community's option on no women, no children?
Now, the mentality alone here is really troubling. It suggests that if maybe children weren't being killed and women weren't being killed and elderly people weren't being killed, that everything would be fine. Like there's some sort of honor amongst thieves, and the mayor's cut a deal with these communities where murdering is okay as long as you leave out the innocents. That's not okay. But what it does do is show that Mayor Woodfin knows where the problem is. It's criminals killing criminals. That's a lot of this. Not all of this, but that's a lot of it. And he's talking about changing the way some neighborhoods work in the city, where they're going to limit the number of entrances and exits into these communities because of all the shootings. So he mentions all that. That's very bad. It's an acceptance that bad things are happening, and maybe we're going to start looking the other way on it. Because he also mentioned that there's too many people getting out of jail after they're being arrested. They're going out and doing bad things. Well, this is the obvious result of liberal crime policies. You don't want them to enforce the law as tough as they possibly can, so they don't. The guy doing a drive-by where Randall Woodfin says, well, we'll just limit their ability to get into the neighborhood in so many different ways. That's not his first crime. He's doing a bunch of other crimes. He's probably been caught before. But that guy gets out on low bail and off he goes. So Woodfin is right about that. But he's got to get serious about all of this. There has to be a real attempt to crack down on crime. You put bad guys in jail for long sentences and you leave them there. I know. It flies in the face of everything we've heard over the last couple of years about crime, where you should just let people out and then crime will stop. Makes absolutely no sense, and it doesn't work, as you're seeing right here. Bad guys are committing crimes. They're being allowed. The mayor's solution here is a little more bail. Just okay. Limiting the number of entrances and exits to neighborhoods. And I guess a recommitment amongst criminals to not killing women, children, and the elderly. The simple fact here is none of this is serious. And the problems in Birmingham will continue until the citizens there have enough of it. And that's the part where Randall Woodfin is right. It's the citizens' fault. They elected these individuals who appointed these police chiefs, and now you have these problems. When the citizens decide they've had enough, they'll elect politicians who have decided they've had enough, and then maybe it'll stop.